Hey YouTube, how's it going? It's Quentin here, and this is tutorial number 30. And in this tutorial I am going to speak to you guys about linear gradients with CSS3. Now this is again something that is new to CSS3, so if you're trying to get this to work in an older browser, then it's more than likely not going to work. But as long as you're using this in something that is up to date, so if it's Google Chrome or Firefox or the latest version of Internet Explorer, then this should work just fine. Okay, so to save time, I'm actually using code from the previous tutorial, which is just a div with a class of rounded box, and it has the word apples inside of it. Okay, so not too difficult there. And then again, I've gone ahead and styled my div. So I've selected it by class, which was rounded box. I gave it a width of 200 pixels. I set the text to be aligned in the center, a padding of 50 pixels on the top and on the bottom, and then 0 pixels on the left, and then again on the right. Okay. And border radius was something that we learned about in the previous tutorial, which was just how to round off your corners. Okay, so basically if you are if you have all of this code written down, then you should land up with something that looks kind of like this. So run in Firefox. Oops, I ran my CSS sheet, sorry. Run the HTML page, and there we go. We've got the word apples, but I don't have a background color. Okay, so let's go ahead and just throw in a random background color over here. And if you're going to use gradients, I would say that you guys should probably just add in a background color for all the browsers that maybe don't support gradients. At least there's some sort of a background color showing. Okay, so we can just set this equal to some color blue. I've got this in Photoshop over here. We'll just go ahead and grab some light blue color, and basically as long as the browser doesn't support a linear gradient, you've at least got that color showing. So when I click refresh over here, you've got this light blue. But if we want to go ahead and make use of a linear gradient, then I'm going to go ahead and say background image, and then we'll say linear gradient. And like I said, this is new to CSS3, and this actually takes a few properties. Okay, the first property is which direction you want your gradient to go from. Okay, so in other words, we can have a gradient start at the bottom and work its way up to the top, or we can have the gradient start from the top and go down to the bottom. So there are two different values you could put in here. You could put to top or to bottom. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and actually just say to top, because that's the direction I want to go, from the bottom to the top. Okay, and then I have to put in a bunch of colors that I would like this gradient to have inside of it. Okay, so in other words, we want to start from a really dark blue down here at the bottom. So I'll go over to Photoshop again and just grab some really dark blue, and that should be fine. So let's go ahead and paste that in with the hashtag, don't forget about that. And then I will go ahead now and grab a really light blue. So let's grab that, and when I go over to Firefox, or not Firefox but Notepad++, and just paste that in, we now have a gradient that'll start at this really dark blue and then move over to that really light colored blue. So let's go back now to Firefox and click refresh, and I hope you guys can see this, but we now have a gradient that starts as a really dark blue down here and fades up to a much lighter blue. Okay, And something I want to show you guys about this is we can use multiple colors. So right now we've only gone from a really dark blue to a really light blue, but I could add in a few other shades of blue in the middle and get that gradient really looking like a lot better. So I'll go ahead and grab a sort of medium colored blue and then go back over here, and before my light blue I just want to paste in that like medium colored blue, and we could probably overdo this a little bit more, get somewhere in between the values, and go over here again and paste that just before our light blue. Okay, and now we should have really dark blue, kind of lighter blue, lighter, and then the lightest blue there is. Okay, so if we go over to Firefox and click refresh now, it changed a little. Not that you guys might have seen that, but it is possible to do that. So I just wanted to show you guys that that was possible. And something else you can do with this as well is you can decide, well, how much space do you want each one of these colors to take up? Okay, so if I went to my first color over here and I set this equal to something like 50%, that means that this color will go up 50% of our box and then only start fading in to the next color blue. So if I go ahead now and go over to Firefox now and click refresh, you can see we definitely have quite a bit of a line in here, and that's because our dark blue has gone from the bottom up to 50% of the box and then only started fading to the lighter blue. Okay, and let's go ahead and make this even bigger. So let's make it 80%, and you'll probably see a very definitive line. So there we go. Now you've got a much clearer line. Okay, and it's probably best if you're actually just gonna give that maybe like a value of 20%, and then this a value of something like 40%, and maybe this a value of another 40%, so 40%, and the last value you could leave something like 100% or something, and it basically takes up whatever space was left. So we have our first gradient go up 20%, then our next gradient, and so on. But of course you guys can fiddle with those values to get something that looks really good. I'm just going to show you guys basically how to use this linear gradient. So that's all I have for you guys in this video. Don't forget to subscribe. Please feel free to leave a comment, like or share the video. It's really going to help my channel grow, and I will see you guys next time.